We then have the recording of May 10th, 2009, on which you hear the tragic, sad voice of Michael Jackson in some sort of drug-induced, slurred stupor. And you hear the voice of Conrad Murray, evidently seated right there as he recorded the conversation, or excuse me, the voice of Michael Jackson. May 10th, 2009. Again, think of this when Conrad Murray says in his interview, well, and referring to the time period of June, that he began to think there was a problem. He began to want to wean him off. This is a month and a half prior to Michael's death. You've heard the recording and you have it in evidence to hear during deliberations if you so desire. It is sad recording. And for reasons unknown, it's made by Conrad Murray on his iPhone and kept on his iPhone by a doctor who will not keep a shred of medical records to be reviewed, by a doctor who could not provide one piece of medical record documenting his nearly 2 months of propofol infusions. But yet, on his own personal iPhone, he records Michael Jackson's voice and keeps it. Even in this state, even in this recording, with Michael at such a vulnerable state, he's talking about his plans for the future. He's talking about his desires, that he wants the fans and the people to say, I've never seen anything like this, referring to his show. It's amazing. He's the greatest entertainer in the world. Even in this state, as he lay in his bedroom with Conrad Murray evidently sitting right next to him, he's thinking about the future and putting on a great performance. But even more than that, he's talking about the Children's Hospital. The biggest in the world, the Michael Jackson's Children's Hospital. In this state, when he has no reason to believe anyone is even listening to him, when he has no reason to believe anyone will ever hear his words, when he has no reason to believe anyone would be documenting it in any way, in this vulnerable state, in his own house, in his own bedroom, he is talking about what he wants to do in the future. And he is talking about his desire to build the greatest children's hospital in the world. These are his true feelings. These are his true desires. This is what he's saying in a private, vulnerable moment of what he wants to do. And for reasons unknown, for reasons completely unknown and unexplained, Conrad Murray sits by his side and records him on his iPhone. And what do we know happens after May 10th, 2009? After hearing this voice, after hearing Michael Jackson in this condition, what does Conrad Murray do just 2 days later? May 12, 2009, he orders the largest shipment of propofol, 40 of the 100 milliliter vials, 25 of the 20 milliliter vials, and 20 more vials of the benzodiazepine midazolam. Just 2 days after recording Michael Jackson in that state. From May 12th, we go to June 10th. Again, another shipment of 40 large vials. Now 50 of the 20 milliliter small vials. This is June 10th, 2009, 15 days before Michael Jackson's death. Keep these shipments in mind, again, when you consider the truthfulness of Conrad Murray's statements to the police. His statements that he was trying to wean Michael off these agents. When on June 10th, he's ordering 40 large bottles and 50 small vials. Think about these shipments when you think about the truthfulness of Conrad Murray. Now, what do we learn was happening then as it relates to Conrad Murray's knowledge? The knowledge of the devastation he's unleashing on Michael Jackson through this grossly negligent care. We know that in the first week of June, there's a meeting because there's concern about Michael's nutrition, his weight. And there's a meeting held. And Conrad Murray's at the meeting, and he assures everyone he'll take care of it. And by all accounts, everyone at the meeting is satisfied. It appeared Conrad Murray said he's going to take care of it. He's going to take care of it. They knew him to be the personal physician selected by Michael Jackson. He was a medical doctor. He's hearing what they're telling him, and he assures them that he will take care of it. Randy Phillips said it was obvious, Conrad Murray. Conrad Murray indicated to everyone there that Michael was in great health, a statement he made multiple times to multiple people. He told Kathy Jory. He told Kenny Ortega. He told Randy Phillips. He told Bob Taylor, the insurance broker, which we will talk about. On June 25th, he assured Bob Taylor that the media reports of any health concerns regarding Michael were not true. When Conrad Murray knew perfectly well there were health concerns. And Conrad Murray marched forward, putting Conrad Murray first, not Michael Jackson first. But this is during the first week of June. What do we know about June 19th? This was the night at the rehearsal when Kenny Ortega was startled. He was concerned about the condition of Michael. Michael had chills. He was trembling. He was rambling. Conditions we learned from Dr. Waldman, the defense expert, could relate to Demerol. They also could relate to benzodiazepines. We learned from the defense witness, Nurse Cheryl Lee, that she looked it up in the physician's desk reference, and these were symptoms ascribed and attributed to propofol. But we know from Kenny Ortega that on June 19th, he is concerned. Michael didn't rehearse. He sat in the audience with Kenny for a period of time. He eventually asked if he could go home, and Kenny said, of course, and was taken and left early from the rehearsal. But we also know that Kenny Ortega did far more to express these concerns than Conrad Murray ever did. Because Kenny Ortega then wrote an email. And in that email to Randy Phillips, he shared his concerns, and you'll have this in evidence. But he shared his concerns of the condition of Michael on that evening. He said he needed to get help. He relayed that when it was occurring, he reached out to Conrad Murray but could not reach him. He tried to call him, but he was unable to reach him. But as a result of these concerns, we know on June 20th, there was another meeting at the Carrollwood residence. And at that meeting, we learned that Dr. Murray was upset that Michael had been sent home. Conrad Murray evidently did not appreciate Kenny Ortega getting involved in that aspect of the relationship between Conrad Murray and Michael Jackson. Conrad Murray sternly told Kenny Ortega to essentially mind his own business. Stop trying to be an amateur doctor and psychologist. Be the director and leave Michael's health to me. Unfortunately, that seems to be what happened. Conrad Murray further explained that Michael is physically and emotionally fine, and it should not be your concern. That was on June 20th, 2009. On June 21st, 2009, we learned that Michael was complaining of being hot and cold, different parts of his body. We know that Fahim Muhammad called telephone Nurse Lee, who was actually out of state, and explained to her what was taking place, and that she indicated Michael needed to be taken to the hospital. We also learned from Fahim Muhammad that Michael Amir Williams later contacted Conrad Murray, but we don't know what transpired. That was June 21st, 2009. Sunday, June 21st. We then go to Tuesday, June 23rd, where we know Michael performed and rehearsed at the Staples Center. By all accounts, it was a great performance. Michael, again, was looking toward the future. They were getting close to shipping out to London. Everyone was excited. Adrenaline was running high. The crew, everyone who had been working so hard on putting this tour together, they saw a light at the end of the tunnel, and it was about to happen. This is it. The tour was about to happen. June 24th, 2009. Again, the last performance that Michael Jackson ever did. Again, by all accounts, it was tremendous. Everyone was excited. Everyone was optimistic that this was about to get off the ground and that all the work, all the dedication that had been put into putting this tour together, it was about to pay off, and they were about to ship out to London. Michael was particularly excited